Got a new one with the dips continued.
So there's a problem when the paint is too thin, is that you'd be concerned that it might leave a big gap where there's no paint?
Yes, because I mean, like there, there's a gap already. You see. I just want to get rid of some of these bubbles, and I think there's a bit of gunk there. Right there. See? Okay. Well, we might as well use up the yellow.
Like the tiniest bit of magenta. It's consolidating.
You can hold that there while I check the other cups, since they may have stuff left in them.
So what happens if you lift it straight up?
If I lift what straight up?
The film, paper stuff.
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Though I may not successfully manage to lift it straight up.
Do I suppose it depends on how you tilt it upwards after you've lifted it off?
What I find sometimes is that it doesn't want to come if I lift it straight up.
Oh.
And then this mat comes with it. Right. So let's see what happens. I've got gaps.
You've got gaps. Okay.
Though I rather like this.
It sort of doesn't have a uniform direction in which it goes.
In fact, I'm going to be...
Ooh.
do it again and hope that I did it properly. No, I didn't, but I don't care because I don't want to try a third time. I will just put white there. And take my little palette knife and go bing, 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 bing. And go pop. And I'm not entirely happy with that, so I will go like that. And like that. And like that.
And then you're going to tilt it?
And then I'm going to tilt it. I'm still not happy though, because that's too different. This probably won't work because the paint is too thin. Okay, that's better. Okay. So it wasn't too thin there, but it's too thin in the other parts. Let's see. Okay, so how is that? That is an improvement. I like that bit and that bit. I'm not sure. What do you think?
These two sections are quite different down the bottom here. This all blends really well together.
But that bit there
Yeah.
is quite distinct. Yes. Agreed. Okay, that's still too distinct. It needs to be bluer or yellower.
It's not bad to have the red because it matches that. They just need to mesh a little bit better.
Right. I think that's better, but that is starting to get muddy, so I'd better not touch it. Thoughts? That matches that.
That matches that.
I think I'd better stop before I mess it up. I still like that part the best, but maybe that's just because that's the bit that I didn't interfere with. Okay, next painting, which is dry, the one that I made. Another dip, and I'm not very pleased with this one. It's too
All over the place.
all over the place. That is a good description. I mean, there are little bits that I like, but it doesn't have the right unity.
Well, this is the one where we tried to pull it up straight, and so it doesn't have a great direction.
Yes, and it was also the one where this bit was all messy and we tried to make it sort of harmonise with this, and yeah, I'm not pleased with this one. Yeah, I mean, there are little bits that are nice, and you know, that might be good in some other painting. I mean, it is very nice. It just doesn't. The painting is too unstructured, and
Yes.
and I really don't like this bit. It's just
Too square. And yellow.
too square and yellow. Yeah. Though you could argue, well, it's just that it's a saxophone or something.
Yeah.
Saxophone on fire.
Yeah, the saxophone is puffing out a lot of pink smoke.
Right. Saxophone on fire and it's pink
Okay.
smoke.
I like it better now.
Yes.
See, it's all
It's
about
about perception.
It's all about perception. It's how you explain it in a nice, fancy way.
Yes. No, I mean, this is not silly. There are other paintings that I've looked at and then looked at them upside down and suddenly I saw something else in it that I liked. So let's look at it upside down. Oh, you know what that makes me think of?
It makes me think of the what is the Sauron's shadow sniffing people in cloaks.
Yes!
Hey, you thought of the same thing?
No, I just thought of a shadowy person, so you're even better.
No, well, I mean, I think
because you see, that's sort of a head, and that's sort of an arm, and that's sort of a leg, and that's sort of another leg.
Well, but they what were they called? Sauron was it?
Nazgul, you mean?
His Nazgul. They were always riding them. I don't ever recall them standing on their own with 2 feet.
I don't know. Did one? I do, but they did sniff.
They did sniff. They had
when they were searching for Frodo in the Shire.
Yes.
They were sniffing.
I wouldn't think their cloaks would go down to their knees. I think they'd go all the way down to their feet.
Yeah, but it does look very much like a cloak, though.
Mm.
And maybe, of course, it wouldn't go down to their feet. They have to ride horses, after all.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe their horses were possessed as well and didn't need any guidance, and they just sort of sat on them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's more practical if you have a shorter cloak when you're sitting on a horse, just physically.
I think they were more concerned about being scary than practical, but anyway. Yes, you're right. You are right.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if they were shades of dead kings, then they would be dressed the way the dead kings were, and the dead kings would be more practical.
Okay, fair. Fair. All right. So do you want...
I actually prefer the saxophone on fire. It's more happy making.
Well, I can't help but see an upside down man now, no matter what.
Saxophone on fire.
With a man wedged in between.
Okay.
You know, you can't unsee what you've seen. Anyway.
Yes, well, you can't unsee what you've seen, but you can see something else instead.
Fine.
Well, okay, so maybe it's a Nazgul. It's something, at least.
It's not as cool, and a saxophone. It's one of those. It's a Nazgul saxophone. Anyway.
No, I do actually prefer saxophone on fire.
Yes.
I mean, there was one painting that I made that a friend of mine said she can't look at it because it makes her think of screaming faces.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I don't want people to be thinking of screaming faces, so I would rather be thinking of a saxophone on fire than a Nazgul.
You know what? It looks like a pipe. That would make more sense.
Ah. A pipe with pink smoke.
With pink smoke.
Yes. But it's more fun to call it a saxophone on fire.
That's true. It does look like it's got buttons on the front.
You know, because they're the, you know, the buttons and the holes and sort of...
I'm sure there's technical words for the buttons and the holes.
Keys, buttons, holes. I think the holes are still holes, but... yes. I think it's more like a saxophone than a pipe.
Very well.
And I'm not confusing the saxophone with something else like a clarinet, am I?
No, it's very much a saxophone.
And, you know, pink smoke is a very jazz thing.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
You know, and it could be metaphorically on fire. With music. So, this is definitely saxophone on fire. That's what I want.
To name it?
Yes.
It's a good name. Isn't it interesting that we value symbols?
I think it's vital that we value symbols. Symbols are like, I find it so important, symbols, that I cannot find the words.
Well, now that we know it's a saxophone, we can then attach all our personal experiences to saxophones onto it, and then we feel a degree of affection.
Yes. Which is why I want it to be associated with something positive. Though, of course, some people would say it is positive because you're thinking of the Lord of the Rings, and the Lord of the Rings is awesome, which is a good point.
I don't know, I didn't like the Nazgul very much.
Well, the other thing that I didn't like about the Nazgul is that it wasn't very Nazgul-y Nazgul. It was too pink and yellow to be a really Nazgul-y Nazgul.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I mean, if I was going to name it after the figure, I'd probably say something like Pilgrim's Progress.
Ah. Yes, I can see that.
Because, you know, he's a man on foot and...
wearing a cloak that only goes down to his knees.
Yes. And he's got light and he's got darkness behind him.
Very symbolic.
He's fleeing the city of destruction. Stay tuned for what I finally decide to call it.